lunch break concerning the actual damages that you are requesting concerning the futuristic hub channel, and the amount you stated was $6,480,000, correct?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to now talk to you about the Wildcraft channel. Did you hear Ms. Holly Bone testify in her opinion the Wildcraft channel was earning approximately $30,000 to $40,000 per month during her testimony? Did you freeze?
We just froze. I think this. Craig, I'm sorry. I can't get internet.
I'll ask the question again when you're ready.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
A little scratchy.
Okay. I can hear you, I believe.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll ask this question again. Ms. Hollybone stated during her trial testimony that the amount of money that the Wildcraft channel earns is approximately $30,000 to $40,000 per month. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes, sir, I do.
Did you take an average of $35,000 per month to calculate your economic damages concerning the Wildcraft channel?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did the Wildcraft channel start earning money around January 2021?
Yes, sir, it did.
Multiply $35 times 15 months, which would be January of 2021 through March of 2022. Is that amount $500?
I'm sorry. I'm
Well, I
sorry.
couldn't hear that.
I didn't either.
I
Can you
couldn't hear
repeat
that
the
number.
question? You bleeped out. Can you repeat the question, please, Ms. Capua?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Keating, are you asking this court to award you economic damages in the amount of $525,000 concerning the Wildcraft channel?
Yes, sir, I am.
You testified that you're asking the court to award you $6,480,000 as damages from the futuristic hub channel and $525,000 as damages from the Wildcraft channel. Do those two dollar amounts equal $7,005,000?
$6.4 plus 525 is just under 7 million.
Let me ask my question again, okay?
Okay. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Does the amount of $6,480,000 as damages for the Wildcraft and $525,000 damages, I'm sorry, I said that question wrong. Let me start over. Does $6,480,000 as damages for the futuristic hub channel and $525,000 as damages for the Wildcraft channel total the sum of $7,005,000?
Yes, sir, I do. I believe that. Yes.
Additionally, are you asking this court to award you damages when Holly Bone sold the Frisco house in November of 2020?
Yes, sir, I am.
Are you asking the court to award you damages in the amount of $340,000 due to the sale of the house was in violation of that October 15th, 2020 temporary injunction order.
Yes, sir.
Are the total economic damages that you are asking this court to award you, and are they in the sum of $7,345,000?
Yes, sir.
Concerning these 5 channels that we have been discussing during your test, can you explain to the court your request that these channels be turned over to you? And by that, I mean, can you explain to the court the process for this event to happen?
Yes. Mr. Martin would need to turn over the email addresses and passwords, as well as the email accounts that are connected to each YouTube channel.
And then what would happen after that if the court orders that Mr. Martin turn over the email addresses and passwords for these channels?
We would then have access to the channel, and we would have to change the email address that is associated to the channel to an email address belonging to us. And then we would have control of the YouTube channel after we lock out the old email addresses.
Are you asking this court to award you a permanent injunction so that Mr. Martin would be required by court order to turn over the email addresses and passwords and further enjoin from ever operating these 5 channels again?
Yes, sir.
No questions, Your Honor, at this time.
Cross.
In your, let's get down to your $6,480,000 figure. How did you get that figure?
As outlined in my previous answer, Ms. Bone testified yesterday that the Futuristic Hub channel was earning between $80,000 and $100,000 a month, dating back to 2016. I took an average. I'm sorry. Did you say something, sir?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I took an average of $90,000 a month for the last 6 years, dating back to 2016. And that total for the Futuristic Hub channel came to approximately $6.5 million. I then, based off of Mrs. Bone's testimony of the Wildcraft channel earning $30,000 to $40,000 a month for the last 15 years, 15 months, I took an average of $35,000 per month, and that came out to $525,000 over the last 15 months. And then I took the 300, I believe it was 340,000 for the house in Frisco to come with the total, I believe, 7.2, 7.3 million.
Now your $6,480,000 is damages what back to which date?
That would be going back towards to 2016.
What date in 2016?
I believe it was April 15th.
Okay.
March 15th, April, March or April.
When did you file your lawsuit against the defendants? For when was it? What was the date of the filing of the lawsuit?
We filed the lawsuit in 2000. It would have been August 2014, I believe.
No, your petition seeking damages was not filed until September 15th, to
This
2020.
action. My apologies. July 2020, I believe.
Okay. You're aware that there's a 4-year statute of limitations under that statute.
I am not aware.
Objection to the
Yeah.
former question. It calls for a legal conclusion.
Well, if you're calculating damages, they have to be within the period but the damages have not run by virtue of the statutes. The 4-year statute of limitations, and it goes back. That means there's no damages in the period of time.
It's not appropriate to ask this witness that question.
Well,
You can make that argument in closing, but let's move along. That's not really his.
Well, but Your Honor, he is calculating in his calculations, if they are including stuff that is outside of the statute of limitations, then it's wrong. Maybe he needs
Just
to
ask him,
recalculate.
like, if it's only 4 years, then how much would it be? But arguing with him over whether or not the
Okay.
statute of limitations
Well,
apply.
If it's now, do you know that you have the exact number for the earnings of the two channels, which were the first two in this lawsuit, Creamworks Animation and Futuristic Hub? Are you aware you have the exact number of the income of those two channels from April of 2019 to the end of 2020?
Based on Mrs. Bone's testimony of earning between $80,000 and $100,000 a month for the Futuristic Hub channel, dating back 4 years, for the Futuristic Hub channel would be $1,080,000 a year times 4. So that, sir?
I am asking you whether you are aware that you have the precise numbers for the earning of those two channels from April of 2019 until the end of 2020.
Precise
Are you
number, no,
aware
sir.
of that?
I'm not aware of that. No, sir.
Okay. Are you aware that you have in our exhibits all the records of all the funds that came out of Freedom Family Limited? And those funds started out in the first month, as I think about 21,000, and they rose to 100,000. And those are the precise figures, and you have taken about 300,000 of that. Are you unaware of that?
Objection to the question. It assumes facts not in evidence.
They are in
And,
evidence. You have
Well, the
accepted
evidence is your client's testimony.
No, the evidence is the bank records, which have been entered into evidence. And my client obviously doesn't have great memory of what the numbers are. They eventually got to 80, 100,000, but the records show that it was not that much all along.
No,
So
we'll
and-
object to
and-
what the records show. The evidence speaks for itself because there have been a lot of records that have not been produced in this case.
Okay, guys, you're just arguing with each other at this point. If you could just go ahead and if you know the answer to his question, answer it. If you don't know the answer, just say you don't know.
I do not believe we were given precise amounts that the channels earned over the last 4 years.
Well, I didn't say over the last 4 years. I said in the particular period. Let me. I'm going to pull up. I wanted to share my screen, but it's disabled. Can you?
Oh, let me enable that. Sorry. Whenever I turn it back on, it just automatically does that. Go ahead.
Okay. Here is Exhibit 20, and you will see the amounts.
Is that plaintiff or defendant's exhibit 20?
It's Defendant's Exhibit 20. It has been admitted. And you go through all this, and we did you a little bit of a favor beyond that.
Could you speak up, please? I could barely hear you.
I can barely hear you too.
Let me- That better?
Yeah, it's better.
And we did you a favor of taking those numbers out and extrapolating them. So this is exactly what was earned by those two channels for all those months, of which you have $300,000. And you see, we're starting off here with 21,000.
So I don't see a screen.
Excuse me. You gotta show it. There, you see, those are. So the amounts are not as high. Do you recollect that the testimony of my client that the earnings were less than that amount at 21?
I'm
Before
sorry,
it
less than
started.
what amount?
You know, you see the starting amount here is $21,000. And after that, they went up. So before that time, back to your 2016 date, they would have been less. Do you wish to recalculate your numbers?
No, sir. Are you representing to me that this is the entire amount that the Futuristic Hub channel earned for each specific month?
Yes, for the months there. And remember, it got cut off after this month.
Yes, sir.
Those are the amounts. And the ways we know the exact amounts is all the money from those channels that were going to Holly went through Freedom Family. So those are precise numbers.
Your Honor, object to the question at this point. Mr. DeBose again testifying
Yes,
on
sustained.
this document.
Okay. So now
Don't answer that, correct?
Unless you feel like you want to.
I do not believe that those numbers represent the entire amount that the Futuristic Hub channel earned during those months.
what evidence do you have of any amounts other than those that were earned
Well,
in that period of time?
yes, sir. Just based off of my own knowledge, that only represents the earnings that the channel earned through the AdSense, through the advertisements. That does not include brand opportunities, any other type of placements that the channel may have had over that time. So I do not believe that AdSense payments remitted or paid out by multi-channel networks represents the entire amount that the channel earned.
Do you have any evidence of any other earnings? Evidence, not just beliefs. Do you have any other evidence
Well,
other than your suspicions?
I've seen contracts for Roku for the Futuristic Hub videos that would create more revenue. That's off the platform. That leads me to believe that there's other revenue outside of just the AdSense revenue paid by Freedom Family Network.
And do you have any evidence of what the amount of that was?
I do not believe your clients gave us that evidence, no.
So you have no evidence on that.
We asked for it, but did not get it.
Okay. With respect to the damages with respect to the sale of the house in Frisco, what's the basis on which you claim that my client is liable for those damages?
Mr. DeBose, you froze. Can you please ask the question one more time?
You claim that my client owes you the value of the house in Frisco, what's the evidentiary basis that you claim that my client owes that money to you?
From my understanding, your client was ordered not to sell the house. The house was purchased for, I believe, $348,000. And since she was not authorized to sell the house and did so in violation of the court's order, that is how I came up with the $348,000.
Well, that's a temporary injunction, and at this point, the breach of injunction is not before the court. It's a damage question. Is it not true that the damages are only because this is the damages are in your fraudulent transfer claim? Am I not correct?
Objection to the question. I think Mr. DuBose has asked about 3 questions in there. Some of them.
Well, okay. The question is, are you not seeking those damages under your fraudulent transfer claim?
I'll object to the question as much as it calls for a legal conclusion. If the witness can answer on a lay opinion basis, he certainly can.
I believe so. I'm not sure in which fashion we're requesting it. I know we are requesting it. I guess I would have to see the request.
So you don't know at this moment why you're asking for those damages with
do know
respect
why.
to the Frisco house?
Yes, sir. I do know why.
Okay, why? What's the legal
Because-
basis for the claims? What's
Because
I'm an objection to the question. He's asking for a legal opinion at this point.
I'm just
Meaning, I mean, your attorney's right. He is asking for a legal opinion. If you know the answer, you can give it, but I'd urge you to really think about what you're doing.
I'm not a lawyer and I don't want to say the wrong thing. I have no legal opinion.
okay. So you don't know why those damages being sought.
Objection to the question. It misstates his testimony.
Well, I'm asking.
Sustain.
He's
Mr. DuBose, sustain. Move along.
Pass the witness.
No further
Anything else?
questions? No, sir.
You may step down. Call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judgment creditors call David Tyler Moss.
Mr. Moss, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Please be seated.
Mr. Moss, please state your name for the record.
David Tyler Moss.
Are you the same David Tyler Moss who obtained a judgment against Brian Martin in the amount of $18,600,000 on April 15th, 2016?
Yes, sir.
Did you also initiate a lawsuit against Brian Martin and Holly Bone and Carolyn Martin, an attempt on 2 fronts? One, to collect on your judgment against Mr. Martin, and also to allege additional causes of action against Ms. Bone and Ms. Carolyn Martin?
Yes, sir.
Concerning damages in this case, specifically the futuristic hub channel, let's start there. Were you present when you heard Miss Holly Bone testify that the futuristic hub channel was earning in the approximate amount of $80,000 to $100,000 per month from April 2016 to the present?
Yes, sir.
Did you take an average of $90,000 per month on the futuristic hub channel to calculate your damage regarding the futuristic hub channel?
Yes, sir.
If you
Your
multiply
Honor,
nine,
is this, excuse me, is this just going to be repetitive of what the prior witness said?
if Mr. DuBose is willing to stipulate that all of the damages
I'm not willing
testified
to
by
stipulate,
Mr. Can I finish, sir, please?
Let's just, it's overruled, but let's get through this quickly.
Okay. Mr. Moss, would you agree that if you take $90,000 times 12 months, that equals $1,080,000?
Yes, sir.
And if you multiply $1,080,000 times 6 years, does that total $6,480,000?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking this court to award you economic damages in the amount of $6,480,000 due to the wrongful taking of the videos on the Futuristic Hub channel?
Yes, I am, sir.
Concerning the Wildcraft channel, did you hear Ms. Hollybone testify that that channel earns between $30,000 and $40,000 per month?
Yes, sir.
Did you take an average of $35,000 per month to calculate your damages concerning the Wildcraft channel?
Yes, sir.
Would you agree that the Wildcraft channel started earning money in January 2021?
Around that time, yes. Yes, sir.
Multiply $35,000 times 15 months. Does that amount total $525,000?
Yes, sir.
If you add the $6,480,000 from the Futuristic Hub channel and the $525,000 from the Wildcraft channel, do those two numbers total the amount of $7,005,000?
Yes, sir.
You're asking this court to award you the amount of $7,005,000 as damages related to the Wildcraft channel and the Futuristic Hub channel.
Yes, sir.
Are you also asking this court to award you damages due to the wrongful sale of the Frisco home?
Yes, sir.
And how much money are you asking the court to award you regarding the wrongful sale of the Frisco home in violation of the temporary injunction?
It was sold for around $340,000. I know it's been valued at around $400,000, so I'd say $340,000. That's what they purchased it for.
Are you asking the court to award you economic damages in the total amount of $7,345,000 due to the Futuristic Hub channel, the Wildcraft channel, and the wrongful sale of the Frisco house?
Yes, sir.
Are you also asking this court to award you the following 5 channels: the Futuristic Hub channel, the Wildcraft channel, Creamwork Animations channel, Blocktastic channel, and Top Trends channel?
Yes, sir.
And would you agree with the testimony of Mr. Keating concerning how the court can accomplish your request as it relates to the transfer of these channels and the videos within those channels to you?
Yes, sir.
Are you also asking this court to issue a permanent injunction to prevent Brian Martin and Holly Bone from ever having the ability to operate any of these channels that you have been testifying to?
Yes, sir.
Pass the witness.
As the witness.
All right. Call your next witness.
Just one moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, can you give me 2 minutes to confer with counsel?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, plaintiff's judgment, creditors rest.
Mr. DeVos, call your first witness.
Brian Martin.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Your Honor, before we get started, I apologize for the small interruption. The 2 default judgments against the 2 defendants, when's the appropriate time to bring those up? I mean, they're in evidence already because they're part of the court's record. Is there anything else that I need to do with that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I just didn't want to interrupt the proceedings for later on because the court's already signed us too. With that, my apologies.
Go ahead, Mr. DeBose.
Mr. Martin, when did you meet Holly Bone?
I met Holly in 2012.
Okay. Was your wife inaccurate in that 2010 date?
Absolutely. I would have no reason to meet a 10-year-old online and keep in contact with them for 2 years.
And how did you meet Holly? How'd you find her?
I gave $2,500 to Marco Princep to have 20% stake in the video games YouTube channel in the summer of 2012.
Your Honor, I'm going to object, non-responsive.
Sustained. Go ahead and re-ask it.
How did you meet Holly?
I met Holly by scouting. I was a video games manager for YouTube channel, and I scouted on a Minecraft game and to look for talent.
And again, how did you come across her in particular?
Objection, formal question.
Yeah, could you make it a little more specific?
Did you telephone her? Did you email her? What were the circumstances of your meeting?
Objection, leading question.
I'll overrule that when you can answer.
Through the Minecraft chat. When you're playing the Minecraft game, you're able to chat to other
Objection, Your
players.
Honor. He's already answered the question. Ask and answer.
What is that chat?
It's the way to chat to other Minecraft players.
What is chatting?
And when you text to people and talk to them through text.
Okay. And did you contact Holly first, or did she contact you first in the chat?
I was scouting and asking for people if they had some talent.
Your Honor, counsel, witness is not answering the question. So there was a simple question. Who contacted whom first? That's it.
Mr. Martin, you got to listen to the questions, answer the questions being asked, okay?
I think he was answering the question.
Holly contacted me when she
Okay, answer
got my
and
text.
ask and answer.
And what was her what did she say to you in that contact?
Objection, can we have it, Your Honor, if this calls for a narrative response?
Pardon?
It calls for a narrative response.
No, I don't think so. It's just, what did she say?
It wasn't, yeah, okay, what did she say? At what point? It calls for a narrative response. Can you ask a specific question?
I asked a specific question, didn't
Well,
I?
Judge, it calls for a narrative.
What was the communication from her when she first contacted you?
But just answer that question.
She said that she was a Minecrafter.
And what was your response back to her?
We just chatted about Minecraft and YouTube. And she said she was interested in
Your Honor, again,
animation.
He's saying what she said. And that was my question.
Mr. DeBose, please, this is to the court, not to you.
Yeah.
Could you ask the witness to just be responsive to the question, add no more to it? It was a specific question that was asked.
And the answer was within it, which is telling what was the substance of the communication.
Your Honor, I'll withdraw my objection at this point.
Okay, let's move along.
Okay, so you can Tell us, please, the substance of the communication. And
She said she was into Minecraft and then the animations. I felt that was new and exciting to hear more about.
And why were you looking for people on that chat?
Because I was the manager of video games and I noticed that Minecraft is very popular. And that was something that video games was looking for to promote on the channel.
Video games was a collaborative channel, was it not?
Yes, it was a community channel.
A community channel. And what constitutes a community channel?
You would upload other people's content to promote their YouTube channels.
Okay. And how did video games get an income?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I couldn't.
How do video games get an income, in particular from these people who were posting on video games, if indeed video games did get an income?
Yes, through uploading other people's content, which we called them directors. The income came from the videos that were uploaded through the advertising revenue on the video games YouTube channel.
Did you split that income with the creator of the video?
No,
So they paid you to post in hopes that the people who saw their product would go to their channels. Is that correct?
Objection, formal question as to who they are.
Oh, the
Sustained.
the channel owners who posted on video games were hoping that being posted on video games would cause viewers then to go to their channels. Is that correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Formal question and testify.
What did the owners of the content that you posted on video games hope to get out of being posted on video games?
Objection, Your Honor. Call for speculation on part of this witness.
Sustained.
I don't know what it's. What did you offer to the channels who posted on video games?
promotions, subscribers.
And how would they get the subscribers?
Video games YouTube channel is a very large channel. So if you upload one of their videos and tell the audience where the video came from or who the owner or the creator of the video is, it would go to a large audience and people would get to see that and go to the creator's channel and subscribe to them.
And about this, about how many channels did you have? Excuse me. The videos of about how many channels did you have on video games?
Holly being one of them.
Your Honor, I'm going to
40.
object. I'm going to object to the response. That was not the question.
Yeah, that was not the question. Go ahead and try again, Mr. DeBose.
How many channels were on video games?
We promoted anywhere between 40 and 50.
Okay. And was your role the role of manager on those channels?
Objection, leading question. I'll withdraw it, Your Honor.
A few channels. When I ran video
Answer,
games,
Your Honor, again,
I was not a manager.
Your Honor, would you ask this witness to allow me to put my objection on before trying to answer a question? My objection, Your Honor, was that it was a specific question in terms of, was he a manager? That's all the question was. So I object to the response.
Yeah, Mr. Martin, you got to be careful about that. You need to just answer the question.
Were you managing some of the channels whose videos appeared on video games?
Yes,
About how many?
one.
Were there any, what channel was that?
Futuristic Hub.
Okay. Uh, Did you ever do any management for Kyle Lomax?
I gave him advice.
And what was his channel?
Objection relevance, Your Honor.
Yeah, but who is this person and why is it relevant?
He's going to be a witness in this case.
Keep it short. Let's keep it short, but let's tell me who it is.
Kalo Boy Swag.
And how about
I don't understand what he just said. Kalo Boy Swag.
Swag with a G, Your Honor.
Could you just spell that for the court report? Because I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yes, Your Honor. KLOBOYSWAG.
when you manage channels, what arrangement did you have with them for your compensation?
I saw it as a job. I had an arrangement to get some of the revenue that came from the channels, depending on what the channel owner would agree with.
What was your arrangement with Cameron Grant?
It was 50-50.
And why did you agree to be a manager on Futuristic Hub?
Objection, Your Honor. May I take this witness on? May I take this witness on board?
Briefly, yes.
Mr. Martin, my name is Royce West. I represent the plaintiffs in this particular case. I'm going to ask you, in terms of Futuristic Hub, isn't it a fact that you own Futuristic Hub?
No,
Isn't it a fact, sir, that you indicated that your wife at the time, Christy, owned Futuristic Hub?
no, sir.
Isn't it a fact, sir, also that this particular property, Futuristic Hub, is one of the pieces of property that you were awarded in a divorce from your first wife, Chrissy, back in 2019?
Futuristic Hub business, not the channel. I would say, because there was two, Futuristic Hub LLC was a different thing from the channel.
Your Honor, I'd ask the court to take judicial notice of the divorce decree signed by a judge indicating that this particular man who's lying to you right now, again, was the owner of Futuristic Hub at that time and
West,
received.
I remember the testimony. I get it.
Okay. My issue as judge is, how's he competent testifying to ownership as it relates to this particular channel, given that we know that he owned it? The
Well,
evidence.
he's going to tell us whatever he wants to tell us, and then we'll.
Okay, I'll
make the
back.
decision.
Yes, sir.
Was Holly easy to manage?
Very
Actually,
difficult.
In what way?
object, Your Honor, relevance in terms of management. I mean, again, Judge, I'm not trying to make this a longer trial, but the forms of the question that counsel should know better in putting before this particular witness is just something that I hadn't witnessed in a long time. And so I would object to this form of the question, number one, and the relevance of the question, number two.
Relevance of the question is that Holly tended to panic. She was very difficult to manage. And Brian he tried to protect her from.
Your Honor, I would ask, if he's going to make an objection, I'd ask that it be a legal. I made an objection. I'd ask for a legal response to the objection that's made by lawyers in your court each and every day, as opposed to a narrative response from him trying to testify.
I think what, Mr. DeBose, I think what we probably need to do is you need to establish some type of foundation of why this would be relevant. I think I know where you're going, which is you're going to ask him what percentage of futuristic hubs revenues he would get. And then you're going to say the reason he got such a high percentage. That's when I guess you're going with this. Is that right? But I think you need to lay a foundation as to why this question is relevant. Because right now I agree with Mr. West's question isn't relevant. I could see it being relevant if you can lay a foundation as to, hey, we took a higher percentage in this case because she was difficult to manage, but you haven't.
Your Honor, that's not the question.
Okay, then the objection.
Because Your Honor, the question on managing her is relevant to the issue of the defense of her that he put up. And you have seen an example of how.
Your Honor, you've already sustained the, you've already.
Sustained, objection sustained.
Did you ever do anything to protect Holly Bone in your
Objection.
management of her?
Your Honor, I don't believe there's been any, and I may be wrong about that. I don't know if there's been any evidence that he actually managed her.
Both she has testified that he managed her up until the time that she went to Freedom Family.
Yeah, I think
She has testified.
Yeah, objections.
that-
The objection's overruled. You can ask the question.
Okay, I forgot what it was.
Did you ever protect Holly Bone? I think is what you were saying.
Yes, yes. Did you ever do things to protect Holly Bone?
Yes, I acted as her representative. I made videos, satirical videos. When she had
Your
asked
Honor,
me,
asked and answered.
yes,
Okay, what did you do to protect her?
I've made videos. I've told people that I've done things when it comes to her channel. She didn't want anybody to know about her.
Again, Your Honor, again, he is answering a question beyond what the question was. You know, and it's just being non-responsive to the question. And non-responsive, and it's a narrative response as opposed to a question and answer response.
Let's keep it tight, Mr. DeBose.
And what was your reason for protecting her?
She became suicidal at points. It was difficult to
And-
manage her.
And what was the cause of her being that distressed?
Your Honor, objection, relevance. I mean, he sits up and makes, Your Honor, I'm not gonna make a.
I get it. I get it.
Okay.
So if you tie it to this case, that's fine. But if she said about something else, I'm not sure it's relevant to this case.
And Your
Well,
Honor,
it's
sorry, go ahead, Mr. DeBose.
if I may,
What?
it's relevant to this case because he took extreme measures to protect her because she was being attacked online for these allegedly pornographic videos that she has testified about. And I'm just trying to find out from him the other side of that. She has said that he did all these things to protect her. And I'm just getting his side of it.
You need to lay a foundation of why this is relevant. And there isn't a foundation at this point. I think I know where you're going, but maybe I don't. But you need to lay a foundation of why this would be relevant. At this point, it's not relevant.
There were many videos shown by the plaintiffs of you saying you were the animator, that you were glad to do pornographic videos. And why did you make those videos?
I made them to protect Holly from all the haters,
And what were you protecting her from?
all the hate that was happening with her channel from a lot of people.
I all due respect, this is all hearsay. This, I mean, he is bringing in statements from outside the court. But he said her people online had said about it. That's hearsay. It's being offered in this court to prove the truth of the matter asserted. So I would object to this line of answer, the question and answer.
Mr. DeVos.
Well, let me just get. Julia, would you show video 4, please?
Which one, plaintiffs or defendant?
Senator, yeah,
Defendant's video 4.
that has been admitted, yeah. Well, no. Defendant 4.
We have given the list. As
Wait. 4, I think we split up between like A through M.
no.
Are we talking about the plaintiff's exhibit or the defendant's exhibit? Mr. DeBose?
Oh, wait a minute.
Because 4,
I'm wrong about that. Exhibit 4 has not been admitted. It says 366 to 367 campaigns, campaigns. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's, let me just find where it is. It is a list.
Are you talking about, B4? You talking about B4 as opposed to just regular 4?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
none of those
Yeah, well,
videos.
no, the videos we did before were all off of Exhibit 57. And this is we have a list of video exhibits that we have submitted.
So Tony, and just so we're all on the same page, there was an exhibit list that was submitted, and the way you numbered these were 1 through 57, and then you had video exhibits V1 through V13.
Yes, that's
So
right.
are you trying to cite to V as in Victor 4 YouTube video excerpts? Is that what you're trying to get to?
Yes.
So Tony, when you do this, it should be defendant's exhibit V4, and you're going to email any of those exhibits that get admitted. Tony.
Yeah, we will deliver all these videos on a thumb drive.
Well, yeah, however she wants it.
Is that V as in Victor? Just to make sure?
Yeah, V as in Victor. All right, go ahead and play the video, whatever you wanted to play.
I know, no, they're insane. The views are insane. This one has 27 million. This was the first Minecraft porn on YouTube.
There's a lot of things that are being updated in Minecraft.
Listen to his voice. That is a grown-ass man who conceived this video.
What? There's a lot of things that are being updated.
So
why does he even say anything? That is so weird.
he should have kept his voice out of it.
Oh my god.
He should have hired somebody with a kid's voice. Ew, I don't know, that's worse. Basically, this video shouldn't exist. That's the bottom
Should
line.
not exist. How like one person finds himself making this video all of a sudden?
This is beyond autistic. This is one of those things where someone walks in and you switch to porn because it's easier to explain. How could he sex with a creeper if it's a mob? I mean, the guy's got a point. Futuristic Hub, we're looking at you for an answer on this one.
And could you now show
Well, are you offering exhibit V4?
offering Exhibit 4?
Yeah, I'm going to object to the relevance of that exhibit. It has, not only do I object to the relevance of the exhibit as it is, but again, it has a bunch of hearsay in there in terms of the messages, the post. All of those are hearsay.
You need to lay some kind of foundation
Well,
here, Mr. DeVos.
Your Honor, this is what was happening. It is one of the many videos that was driving.
You need to lay a foundation with the witness. You're not
Okay.
unless you're a witness here. You
Oh,
need-
okay, I see. Brian? What what was that video composed of?
Is this supposed to be the predicate?
Yes.
So when you say this deal, what are your objection to the form of the question?
Yeah, rephrase the question.
What is the substance of this video?
Objection, Your Honor. He'd be testifying if he said what the substance is. There has to be a predicate that he could utilize in order to offer the video.
Yeah, sustained.
Is this video a fair sampling of the harassment of Futuristic Hub?
Objection, predicate.
Overruled at this point.
Yes.
And so I offer Exhibit 4, B4.
Objection, Your Honor. I failed to put the proper predicate in place.
Can I ask a question? Is that all of V4? Because it says here it's video excerpts that look like just one excerpt. Is that the entire video that we saw?
Brian, do you know? It is actually an excerpt of one.
Just
video.
one video?
Yes.
I'm going to
It's-
admit it in for a limited purpose, not for the truth of the matter asserted within there, but the effect it would have on this particular listener. So I'll admit it for a limited purpose.
And Julia, would you put on screen Exhibit 3? Exhibit 3 tends to repeat itself. So after a repetition or two, just cut it off. It's very short.
I mean,
Is it V3? I'm sorry, we V3?
It's V3.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's it, Julia. You can cut it off then. Is that a fair sampling, Mr. Martin, of the pornographic videos that your wife made when she was 13 and 14?
Yes.
I offer it, Your Honor.
objection, proper predicate.
I'll go ahead and admit that one. V3 is admitted.
Yeah. I'm not sure I got to answer the question, but was it the harassment that we have manifested in Exhibit V4 that was disturbing Holly Bone so much?
Objection, on the call for speculation on part of this witness.
Don't speculate. If you know the answer, you can answer, Mr. Martin.
Yes, it was.
And how did her disturbances over all this manifest themselves?
Objection, leading question. I'll withdraw that, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Could you repeat that, please?
How did Holly's disturbance with the harassment manifest itself?
It just got worse.
What was she doing? What was she saying?
She was saying she was going to kill herself. She was freaking out. I didn't know what to do.
Your Honor, again, I fail to see the relevance of this line of questioning to the issues before this court.
Your Honor, it is.
I think we need to kind of cut it off at this point. I think we've hit I understand the very limited relevance it might have in this case. So let's move along.
Okay. After the judgment was entered against you, did you give anything of value to the defendants to impartial satisfaction of the judgment.
Could you repeat that?
Once the judgment was entered against you, did you give anything in partial satisfaction of the judgment?
No.
Did you not give them?
Your Honor, ask and answer.
Okay. Did you transfer anything?
Ask
No.
and answer, Your Honor.
I'm going to overrule that for now.
I did not transfer anything.
I thought
you-
the records were that he did transfer video games. The YouTube. Am I misremembering?
That's my recollection too. Did
Statutes.
you not transfer an interest in
Your
video
Honor.
games?
It's illegal, if I may, it's a legal question. I just gave it.
What did you give to them after the judgment was entered?
I gave them the video games YouTube channel.
What percentage of it?
Well, I just gave them the channel and I thought I had 20%.
Did they ever reduce the judgment in any way because of their receipt of that?
Your Honor, may I take the witness on board there as relates to these questions? And I'll be very limited.
Yeah, that's fine. I can see why you might want to.
Okay, Mr. Martin, didn't you get, wasn't the federal lawsuit all about video games and the ownership of it?
Yes,
Okay, so you didn't give them, and you ended up getting the court found against you and the appellate court found against you for fraud, right? And several other causes of act, correct?
yes,
Okay, and so when you said you gave that to him, it was awarded by the court, correct?
no,
It was not awarded by the court.
no, the jury awarded myself 20% and Marco 20%, Brandon Keating 30%, and David Tyler Moss 30%.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
And it was that 20% that you transferred to the plaintiffs in that suit. Is that correct?
Yes,
Did they ever reduce the amount owed to them because of their receipt of that interest in video games?
no,
What was the testimony at the trial as to the value of video games?
they are arguing that it was worth tens of millions of dollars.
Could we just take a 10-minute break here, Your Honor?
Okay. Yeah, we can take a 10-minute break.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. And I'll leave the YouTube on. All right, let's get started. Mr. DeBose, are you there? Mr. DeBose, are you there?
Sorry, Your Honor.
Do you have any more questions of this witness?
Yes, I do.
I wanted to let you know this Kyle Lomax, who you called as a witness, is now on the Zoom.
Okay, yes, he's gonna, I'm gonna call him right after I finish with Brian.
Okay.
Your Honor, if Kyle Lomax is on the Zoom, don't we have witnesses under the rule?
No one has invoked the rule. Would you like to invoke the rule?
I'd like to invoke the rule.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and